Hi, I'm Robert Dutt for ChannelBuzz.ca, once again at Kaspersky Labs North American Partner Conference in Cancun, joined by Chris Doggett, SVP of Sales. And wanted to dig a little deeper into Kaspersky Enterprise, the new Enterprise offering. Taking you certainly in some new directions. I guess what in terms of what this opens up for partners that they couldn't do with Kaspersky before, what are sort of the one or two biggest points here for you?
Sure. Well, as you mentioned, it is an expansion, and it's quite a broad portfolio. But picking on a couple of examples, one is the whole trend of bring your own device, or BYOD movement. We're seeing that all companies, large and small, and everyone in between, are really having to grapple with the fact that employees have lots of devices, many of which they own personally, that they want to utilize. And that introduces a lot of complexity for companies in terms of securing their data and securing their environment. So the Kaspersky Endpoint Security for Business, our new release that we've just announced, has some very significant mobile security and mobile device management components that are specifically designed to address the BYOD movement and the challenges that administrators face that result from that in a very clean, clear, intuitive way on a single platform, meaning on a well-integrated security platform with a single console, so that they can have a set of policies that they deploy that include all of their devices, including mobile devices like phones and tablets, etc., and to do that in a seamless fashion. So that's a big one for us in this release. We had some mobile security before, but this really expands and addresses the BYOD issues that administrators face today. We could pick from a number of other options in the portfolio. I think one of the other ones that I particularly hear about a lot and see as being very important is the systems management component, and more specifically, there are a number of things that we have in our systems management part of the product, but specifically vulnerability and patch management. That portion of systems management that we offer is a very tightly integrated portion of the product, which allows them to identify vulnerabilities due to patches that are missing and other vulnerabilities in their applications and their systems, and then very rapidly address those by being able to control the deployment of patches and ensure that they've closed those vulnerabilities rapidly. And we see a lot of attacks coming in through vulnerabilities in applications, common applications that we all use all the time, Java, web browsers, etc. And it's critical to be able to have very immediate visibility into those vulnerabilities as they occur, and to be able to immediately remediate them. And the product does that, and I think that's something that we see a very strong need for from a security and attack perspective, and it's clearly a great opportunity for our partners to go out and address that with their customers.
All right. Given that it's gone off in such new directions for Kaspersky, not surprising, we heard lots about the training that's available and will be made available, 300 plus pieces of collateral coming out over the course of this year around KESB. Given that it's going in new directions, I'm curious how quickly you feel you'll be able to ramp the majority, or at least enough of the majority of the Kaspersky channel to make a difference with KESB.
That's a great question. I think the short answer is we're ramping much more rapidly than we've done on any prior product releases. We actually prepared all of our sales training materials and briefings on the product ahead of the launch, which was at the end of January. And started briefing all of our core partners, that is to say the partners who we are very engaged, very highly engaged with, in December. And we actually went through all of our top partners in December and did briefings with every one of those partners, bringing both a sales messaging and some technical overview to bear, so that they could get up to speed ahead of the launch and prepare for the launch. Since then, and throughout January and certainly in earnest, we've been going now more broadly. Of course, post-launch, we were able to go public and go very broad with our messaging. And I think what's What's exciting and different is not only the volume of content that we have available, but the breadth of different formats that we're making that available. We're doing much more with video, with live web-based training and content than we've ever done before, in an effort to really, in a scalable fashion, get out to our partners very quickly and rapidly. And we have everything from literally 30-second video primers on specific customer problems and solutions, all the way up to full-length, full-day training that we do with partners, and everything in between. Some of it's on demand, ready access. Some of it's live. So we're now doing regular briefings that folks can join into. And then, of course, we're doing on request, on demand, live training, both over the web and in person, with our partner community. So we really have the entire team focused on enabling our partners at this point to be able to go out and have that new sales conversation that we talked about yesterday, uncover the customer's needs and problems, and then bring to bear a solution to address them, because that's ultimately how they and we are going to be most successful with Kaspersky Endpoint Security for Business.
Okay. As you move into some of these new areas, chances are good at least some of your partners will be entrenched already with an MDM vendor, with an encryption vendor, with any of these new areas you're heading into. What's sort of the pitch for them to get on board with the totality of the family?
Sure. Well, I think the most compelling differentiator, and really something that none of the other vendors in our space can say, is that we've delivered a comprehensive security package on one platform that's tightly integrated. So we didn't go out and acquire a bunch of technologies and try to stitch them together or bolt them together to try to get that breadth of coverage from a security perspective. We built all of this from the ground up. It's all our code, and it's all very tightly integrated. It's all one platform that's got all this functionality. It's not a whole bunch of different platforms, cobbled together. So for them, that means that integration not only means efficiency in terms of how the software acts on their systems, but it also means that it's very tightly integrated in terms of the management console. So you don't have multiple consoles and multiple policies that you're trying to align to make sure that you've covered all the gaps in your security posture. You have one policy, one console, and because of the way the product's integrated, you can ensure that you don't have any gaps between different products or different policy sets that are overlapping. So that's something that nobody else in our space can say with this particular type of solution, with an endpoint security solution. Of course, there's also the advantage for our customers and our partners who are selling to customers every day of being able to offer this at one cost as well. So that's huge. They're not having to go out and do multiple bidding processes, multiple purchase order processes internally, and all of that stuff that would be related if they were trying to put together a best-of-breed approach, for example. So it really makes it very seamless from initial selection and acquisition all the way through to ongoing daily management for the customer. And of course, for our partners, it's great for them to be able to bring to bear a solution that's comprehensive, that is best-of-breed technology in a very seamless package. They're delivering a true solution to their customer, not a series of different products.
Okay, and sort of the flip side of that question, which is there may be some partners who would be interested in working with Kaspersky who perhaps haven't because of the new capabilities, because of MDM in particular, or the systems management console. What's the plan to sort of engage those folks who may not have been Kaspersky partners, but might make more sense now in the KESB era? That's
a great question. I think you've hit the nail on the head. There are certainly partners who were more at the periphery previously for us when our product set was narrower, more narrowly focused, who we're now going to be approaching. You can look at any number of different areas around the breadth of the KESB product and identify some of those. But I think for us, it's going to be about going out there and identifying the common thread that we're going to be looking to identify is partners who are operating from a services and solution and consultative selling approach. Those partners who are focused on identifying issues for their customers that they need a full, well-rounded solution for. Because, of course, this is not just about the product. The product is the centerpiece. But there's a lot of consulting opportunities here to go in, for example, with a customer and identify what regulatory compliance issues are they trying to solve, or what policies would they like to be able to deploy, and then use the product to enable those to actually be in place from a technical perspective. So there's a lot of great opportunities for partners to come in and do that, and of course we need to find partners to add to the portfolio where we maybe don't have some, say, from a geography perspective or a market vertical perspective, who can deliver those types of consultative solution and services-based approaches for the customer.
All right. Thank you very much, Chris.
Thank you.